Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of 5-Minute Fix with Mina, hashtag 5minfix. You'll notice that I've been kind of changing the title of the series as I go along. Yeah, still figuring things out. Well, today's prompt comes from Nivs, who suggested that it's the night before Tanu and Abhi's wedding, and Abhi has to deal with a drunk Pragya. Sober Abhi, drunk Pragya, and it ends with him changing his mind about marrying Tanu by the next day. So, how I see this happening is that Abhi is sad. It's the night before, and Prags is sad too, if you think about it. Pragya would be pretty damn devastated if it was the night before Abhi's wedding to Tanu. But since, I'm telling you this kind of as I go along, I haven't really thought a lot about the story. So if I did stop and think about it, there would probably be a lot of clarifications. But let's just say that for whatever reason, Pragya decides to console Abhi with chocolate. And someone has sent Abhi a box of chocolate, and Pragya sees it and brings it over to him and says, "Come eat, talk. Let's have a sweet moment. Let's get through this." What she doesn't realize is that the chocolates are spiked with alcohol, and before Abhi can notice and warn her, she already eats 2 or 3 of them. Now, in real life, alcohol-spiked chocolates are not very likely to make you drunk because the amount of alcohol is minimal. But this is Kumkum Bhagya, where the effect of alcohol does not match real life at all in any way. So let's just say that the effect of just eating a few alcoholic chocolates totally turns Pragya over the edge. And then she turns into, typical drunk Pragya, which is very, very childish, very, very adorable, very, very active, proactive, and talkative, and speaks in English a lot. And she basically leads Abhi on a wild goose chase around his house because she wants to wander the balcony, then she wants to wander the kitchen, then she wants to wander the storeroom and talk about strange stories that Abhi doesn't understand about kidnappings and jails, and what is she even talking about? Abhi has no idea, but he's just trying to keep up with her so she doesn't hurt herself. And Abhi is concerned because he's never seen Pragya like this. Remember, this is memory loss Abhi, but maybe it is sort of starting to poke at something in the back of his mind, that some things are familiar, but he doesn't have any of those awful, incapacitating flashbacks. He just has a strange feeling of maybe he's been here before somehow, and he doesn't know why. So Pragya, being Pragya, still does not let out the truth about anything. She doesn't tell him that she's his wife, that they've been married, that he has forgotten her. She doesn't tell him those things, but she does make him face the questions of, why are you marrying her? What do you even know about her? Do you even like her? Because I feel that drunk Pragya has this way of bringing the truth forward without necessarily speaking the truth. I think we saw that in the drunk Mugambo and drunk alias Sangeet Mehndi episodes. So in that manner, Pragya would torment Abhi with these childlike questions of, who even is she that you're marrying? What even is marriage? What are you doing? And of course, there would definitely be a sequence where she tried to drive a car and Abhi could not let her because she's drunk. And, Pragya would complain about how Chirel gets to do things and she doesn't get to do things. And, Abhi would be so overwhelmed in trying to take care of her and trying to, make sure she doesn't hurt herself and just trying to cope with the strangeness of the whole evening. But he wouldn't necessarily be thinking deeply about everything that she says. But the questions that she raises for him actually do stay in his mind. And when he realizes that, he's basically spending the entire night before his wedding taking care of Pragya, who he's not even the one that he's going to marry, that finally makes him stop and realize that there's something wrong with the situation. And he doesn't know Tanu very well. He doesn't like her. He doesn't think he should have to marry her just because of the incident at the club, which wasn't really even an incident. And he realized he's making the biggest mistake of his life, moving way too fast into a situation that he doesn't fully understand or want. And that is what chasing after drunk Pragya for a night teaches him. And also, there is a voice in his heart that he's not really listening to yet in detail, which is telling him that part of the reason why he's never been fully interested in this marriage with Tanu is that, his mind is somewhere else and his heart is somewhere else. And after having taken care of her for that many hours, his attachment to her can only grow deeper. So the next day, Abhi decides to call off the wedding, much to everyone's horror and dismay. And by everyone, I mean Tanu and Alia, probably Nikhil and Tanu's parents if they're around. And what happens once Abhi decides to do that and how it all goes down, that's not really part of the story. This story is just about Abhi coming to a realization after being exposed to a night full of drunk Pragya's antics. And I think, Niz, you were probably hoping that I could tell you some of those funnier antics, but I'm going to have to leave it to your imagination because I'm coming up on the 5 minutes pretty quickly. And mostly what I wanted to say is whatever Pragya does that night, what it really does for Abhi is raise questions in his mind about what he's doing and make him realize that he doesn't want to go forward. And that's really the way that I see it happening. Not necessarily that Pragya reveals anything or that Abhi realizes that he's in love with Pragya or any of those things. No, I think if drunk Pragya showed up before Abhi's wedding to Tanu, the best possible outcome would be for Abhi to start questioning why he was involved with Tanu in the first place and putting that all to a halt. So thanks for tuning in for episode 3. I think this is going to come in just a couple seconds shorter than the other episodes. Hope you enjoyed and hope to have more for you soon or eventually. Thanks very much and take care.